can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Well, you can tell everybody.
Fellow Meleeers and Vestment of Havoc owners, I am happy to say that there is still hope. There is still a light at the end of this tunnel for us. Now, hey, what's going on, guys? It's ACPO, and we just got a concept art shared by Mod Sponge. This is an old Game Jam Vestments exploration done by Modback. Now, I just want to give it to you straight. This rework is not on the pipeline. There are no plans at this time to rework this into the game, but Mod Sponge did say if they were to rework the Vestments, then it would look like something like this. So even though it's not actively being put into production, there is still a tingle of hope that a Vestments of Havoc rework may come into game, whether that be a full-on rework or maybe just an ornament kit. I'm assuming this would be an ornament kit or a cosmetic, as Mod Sponge did say if this was implemented into the game, then they give players the option to override with the current look of the armor, which is fine. Again, I've said it before, but the Vestments of Havoc don't actually look bad. What's bad about it is that it's basically a rehash of existing cosmetics. Now, in the past, I've made my own redesigns, breaking down all the thought going into them, and I've lost a lot of sleep over this, man. The Vestments of Havoc, they keep me up at night. So in this video, I'll be doing the same. I'm going to give my thoughts about this concept and share my own ideas.
Leave me alone!
Starting off with what I like about this. This definitely looks more melee. With the current Vestments, many people argue that it might not be as identifiable as melee. Like, it could pass as magic armor, and I can definitely see that. But with this, yeah, that's a bruiser. That's what we're talking about. It has one of melee's most identifiable traits being spikes. There's also the fact that the arms now have armor. Go watch my video if you haven't already. But I've made this point before, but given that this is a melee glass cannon power armor, it would make more sense for the arms to be armored, since that's where all the oomph is coming from. That's where all the power is. So I'm glad to see that we have armor there. The next thing is the mask. It's definitely unique. It looks sad and it looks like he has a crown of thorns, and that ties into the themes we see in Zamorakian armor. With the theme of being subjugation. You thought you have power and freedom, but you're just a slave to Zamorakian society. It's irony. It's ironic. And the robes of subjugation is a clear example of this, where the user gets hurt the more they use it. You're wearing shackles and spikes. It's not comfortable. And in this concept art, it definitely feels like that's the case. This is someone who is in power, but it looks like they're being punished essentially, which I like. Now, let's talk about areas for improvement, because there are some things I think could use some work. The first being the forearms. So the spikes, they feel a bit disconnected from the rest of the armor and from Zamorakian aesthetics. Because if you look at this is blunt, whereas the rest of the armor and most Zamorakian aesthetics, the spikes are spikier and they're more slender and sleek. If anything, this feels like it should be Bandosian. So if the spikes or plates or whatever is going on over here can be more in line with the rest of the armor and Zamorakian aesthetics, that would be great. The second thing is the glowing. The glowing to me feels weird in some places. Like, I get the stole, but the spikes on the crown, I don't know about that. If the glowing is meant to represent some kind of power-up, some kind of boost, then yeah, I think it makes sense for it to be on the armor. And I think that's actually a cool thing that they should actually be elaborated more on. So imagine this. You put all this glowing into the arms. You're facing against this guy, he's wielding swords and shit. And then you see his arms start glowing and steaming, and he starts hitting you harder and faster. That's how I'm imagining all this glowing stuff. And to add, I also feel like they should add some kind of charms or talismans on it. I don't know, because to be fair, it feels kind of random. Like on the stole, I get it because there's some kind of inscription written on it, but this is just like metal, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like putting more like glowing emphasis onto the arms and adding some kind of visual reason for it, like some charms or talismans or, would make it much better. The third main issue I have with this is the breastplate. Okay, I think the breastplate is causing too many problems than it's worth. Now, the breastplate is good for the fact that it makes this identifiable as melee armor, But where it's bad is that we lose two things. That sense of it being glass cannon and the vestments feel to it. Current vestments is good in this sense because it looks kind of fragile and it looks like vestment robes. But again, I feel like we're losing that here. So we need more vestments and we need more fragility. I think a good compromise is scrapping the breastplate entirely and replacing it with a gorget and chainmail. I noticed that there's chainmail on the side, so we can just have it, be in chainmail in its entirety. I feel like the only reason why we have the breastplate in the first place is to add accessories. And if that's the case, then we can add a gorget in its place, a small armor neck piece. It can even be a callback to the current vestments where we have this little guy over here. And I think this is a good compromise. We remove the breastplate and replace it with a gorget and chainmail. This allows us to have more of the vestment part showing and make it more glass cannon feeling to it. Since a gorget and chainmail is still armor, but minimal at best. I think that's a good middle ground to have. So to me, these are the main changes that I think should happen. Make the forearms more consistent with, Zamorakian aesthetics and spikes. Refine the glowing effects, give it more reason, and replace the breastplate with a gorget and chainmail. I think if these things were to happen, then, personally, I would be satisfied. Now, here is a time lapse of me drawing this out. Right away when I found out that Mod Sponge shared this concept art, I went straight to work. So some things to know about this redesign of the concept art. I'm again replacing the breastplate with a gorget and chainmail. Followed by that, I'm changing the arms and spikes. I'm actually using the concept art for the War Priest's Zamorak armor. I think those spikes is exactly what I'm talking about and exactly what we're looking for. It's darker, it's more gothic and more appropriate, I'd say. Also, I mentioned adding charms or talismans to the arms to make sense of the glowing effect, but I noticed that there's already glowing on this, so I'm just going to skip it, save some time. And one thing I'm liking about this is that it's very top heavy. It's kind of like a woman's open front crop sweater. The arms and a little bit of the chest is covered, and translating that to the Vestments of Havoc, we're talking business. The arms, the heart, and the mind are the weapon, and now they look dangerous, and now they are protected. Also, I'm going to add the Easy K here. Bro, Easy K rework and potential Vestments of Havoc rework. Fellow Meleeers, we will succeed. We ain't there yet, but this has all been set in motion. We will flourish, I'm telling you. Now, here's my version of Modback's concept art. I'm telling you, man, this shit would be hard. You're in a dark room, and at a distance you see a guy in red robes. All of a sudden, his arms start glowing, and he pulls out a reworked Easy K. The silhouette of the spikes are showing up and the steam puffing out as a backdrop. This would be so hard. A reworked Easy K and reworked Vestments of Havoc. So those were my thoughts and my main gripes with this concept art. I definitely have more, but I think at most, those three things are the most important. And if we can get somewhere with that and some traction with the community, we'd be eating good. It'd be a good day. And when, not if, when the Vestment of Havoc rework comes, and the Easy K is finally not useless, then the Lord himself has resurrected and is walking among us. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, what you liked, what you disliked, and what changes you'd like to see. Remember, this is only a concept. We need the community to be pushing for this to actually get into game. We need justice for Melee, and we will get it. Stay strong, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.